What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the IEP Weekly Update, where we cover what's happening this week in the performance track, as well as other updates and tips, tricks, announcements that come from the IEP team. This week starts off our work capacity focus cycle. So last cycle was power focused. The previous cycle was just overall performance, building those good performance-minded habits. This is going to be a capacity cycle where we focus a little bit more on building work capacity across all time domains. So if you haven't watched the video that was posted on Thursday, go back and watch that for the full breakdown of what to expect. If not, here's a quick snip of what the capacity cycle is about. As we get into the holiday season, we want to do our best to mitigate the typical things that come up during this time of the year. A lot of travel, a lot of sweets shoved in your face through family dinners and stuff that just shows up at the office, as well as the sedentary life that happens because you're driving a lot, flying a lot, and all of those other things. So with all this in mind, we're going to be working a capacity-focused cycle over the next 10 weeks in our performance program. Work capacity is the amount of work you can do, essentially. It is the total amount of work that you can adapt to, recover from, and overall do. So just as sprinting is a movement and a skill, we want to treat capacity in a similar manner. If you've done our 10-week capacity program that we have as a PDF program on our website, then you're going to be pretty familiar with a lot of the stuff in this, but the concept overall is going to be still performance-minded. So we're still going to be training our speed and power, getting in our strength through a different manner, but then most of the work is going to be on the work capacity, but the structure overall is still going to be very similar to what the performance track has been over the last 20 weeks. So there's two main areas of work capacity that we're going to focus on during this time. There's three by the book, and those three are the phosphocreatine system, so it's a very short burst. Then we have the anaerobic system, which is a moderate length burst. And then we have our aerobic system, which is that long duration cyclical kind of work. So we're going to break it down into just two. We're already going to get our phosphocreatine system training through our sprints and repeat sprints and max velocity work. We're going to focus on the moderate anaerobic. So this is going to be that longer lasting, still high intensity pace. Typical bouts of this last between 60 and 90 seconds. And then we're also going to be working our aerobic capacity, which is that longer cyclical, low intensity work that you typically think of when you do conditioning training. So that's stuff that by the book, it lasts over from 3 minutes and on, but our time domain is going to be about 10 to 15, maybe getting up to 30 occasionally during this cycle. We want to be as efficient as possible throughout this cycle, so we don't want to waste your time doing excessive amounts of aerobic work. We're trying to get the mindset away from that by doing things that are more efficient and more bang for your buck that still train what you want to train in a more time efficient manner. So let's dive into what's happening this week in the performance track. Monday is going to be now a speed and capacity focused day. So we're going to have essentially 30 minutes for speed and then 30 minutes for all of the capacity work. We'll start off with a good warm-up. We're going to hit some accelerations to prime the body, hit some max velocity sprints here, and then of course we're going to hit our Nordic hamstring curls because those are an absolute must. And then we're going to hit our prep for the capacity and then a longer duration work capacity piece on this day. Tuesday is going to be our strength and shorter work capacity day. If you haven't watched the video from Thursday, then what to expect on the strength portion is isometric. So we're going to be doing two different kinds. We're going to be doing max voluntary contraction, where you push an immovable object as hard as you can, thus recruiting a lot of motor units, and then also increasing your rate of force development as you push into this immovable object. And then on the work capacity side of things, we're going to be doing a shorter day so that we can do a little bit more high intensity because we're spending more time on the strength. So getting into the strength portion, what we're going to do is back squat, max effort isometrics. You're going to hold at a specific joint angle. You're going to push as hard as you can, rest a little bit, push as hard as you can, rest a little bit, and do the same thing for 3 good sets. Same thing is going to apply for the bench press and then also the inverted row. So if you only have one barbell, this is already built in there. Just use some rings or pull the bench out and use the barbell for your inverted row here. But we're going to do max voluntary contraction for these two movements as well. And then we'll get into the short work capacity piece before moving on to the cool down. Wednesday is going to be solely a change of direction day. We're going to be focusing on our skills that we've been focusing on in the past. So our shuffle, crossover, back pedal, force absorption, and landing. This week's focus is going to be on the force absorption and ankle stiffness. So you're going to hit a good warm up, progress through your plyometrics and landing work, and then you're going to get an optional arm accessory portion if you have time. If not, just take the extra time to move on with the rest of your day or do some more recovery. Thursday is going to be our volume day as well as our aerobic capacity day. So we're going to hit 3 main movements with a lot of volume on them, and then you're going to have time for a good aerobic capacity piece. And then if you have extra time, all the other accessory pieces are going to be at the end. And then if you want to skip those and move on to the cool down, that's perfectly okay. Remember, the meat and potatoes are at the beginning of the workout. Wherever you get to in your set time to work out is perfectly okay. Just chop right there and then move on with the rest of your day. Friday is going to be pretty different compared to what we've done in the past. The last couple of cycles, we've used Friday as our max velocity day and then Monday as our acceleration day. But in this cycle, since we've made Monday a both acceleration and max velocity day, we're going to tailor this to more of our work capacity cycle, and we're going to work sprint endurance. So this is where you hold a certain pace, not max effort, but a certain high pace. We'll start out at 75% and progress up to 85, 90% depending on your ability, to where you can hold that pace, rest a certain amount, and then repeat that pace for 10 plus reps. So we're gonna hit this at the beginning, and then we'll progress into more of a power work. So we'll hit our power cleans this week, working to a heavy clean double, and then you'll have a shorter interval style, high intensity work capacity piece on this day. So if you don't hit this piece, that's perfectly fine. You can either shift it over to Saturday, or you can utilize that repeat sprint ability session as your capacity for that day. Totally up to you. And then we'll move on to Saturday, which is gonna be more of a recovery day. So we'll start off with, obviously, get the blood flowing, and then we're gonna do a mobility segment where you just get loose from the week. And then you have an easy walk or bike for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on what you need, just to flush the body out, get the blood flowing a little bit more, and then some more cool down and recovery at the end, which can also work as prehab, rehab portions if you need it. If you have any questions going into this week, please reach out. I can help you substitute things out if you don't have certain pieces of equipment, or make modifications based off of time and schedule. Please reach out. We're here to be your coaches and to help you out as much as we possibly can. Sunday is still going to be our rest day. This is the day that we designate as a full rest day, a time to get away from work, from the gym, from any sort of training, and a time to spend with family, friends, and take care of your body. Get some sleep, take a nap, make sure you're eating well, getting good nutrients in you, hydrating well with both water and electrolytes, and just getting off your feet and prepping yourself to attack this upcoming week. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Until next week, stay safe, train smart.